that you've stated. So there's nothing
There's
else
no
I can say.
contradiction, Joe. You just don't like the answers.
Logically, which you
there's
seem
no
to,
logical
you want us
contradiction,
to,
Joe.
you want everybody
He's
to
God, we're
believe in.
people.
Look, the conversation is at an end because you put it at an end, which is where I knew it was going.
Well, you don't like the answer. That's why you want it to end.
I
you
don't
like
need
the
to
answer.
like or dislike the answer. Your grand contradiction within one sentence proves your particular argument to be null and void.
Are contradictions good or bad?
Contradictions are bad when you're using them in an argument. Yeah.
Who says? Whose rule are you going to use?
Well, law of common sense. If you do not conform to what logic is, you are contradicting yourself, thereby nullifying your answer. And now, if that isn't plain to you, like I said, I can't help you.
I can't help you either, Joe. And my heart breaks for you because you don't see that. The answer that God is merciful and gracious towards you. And unless you repent for your trust in Him, you're not going to live.
I know. It's horrible. But I'll deal with it. You deal with your particular side of the fence, where logic just runs rampant, and I'll deal on my side of the fence. Okay?
No, sir. There's no illogical rampantness.
All
right, guys.
And so we shall live together peacefully.
Yeah. So that's the way it is.
Mark over there listening to us ramble on like a bunch of hyenas.
Well, what it proves is you can't prove.
No, it was very interesting. Let me tell you,
it's hard to prove anything.
No, you guys miss it. Listen, guys, if we go on that philosophy, then we can't know anything.
That's another logical fallacy you've just introduced.
No,
you can't know everything.
If I can't know objective truth, then there are no truths. Where do you get truth in a materialistic universe?
Okay. Look, I wish I had a show. I would invite you to come on and teach you some logic. It would be interesting.
You want to come back next week, Joe?
Well, sir, once you can figure out your own logic, then we can talk about it more.
Yeah.
Joe.
Says the guy you can't spell.
Your logic is clearly different than my logic.
That it is.
But logic can't be different.
Exactly. Logic is objective. It doesn't fade. It doesn't change. It's logic. Only the foundations change. And the only conclusions which do change are either rational or valid. But the logic itself does not change. That's why it's always easy to disprove God.
No, sir. What you're doing is you're misrepresenting and misunderstanding who God is. There's a big difference there, my friend. You don't know my God, and what you're doing is you're making up another God to suit your argument, and then you're calling me illogical.
Take away that example and just go back to where you and I agreed that God or anything, if it's objective, has to have verifiable evidence. And
but you don't like my evidence, and I said that.
You have never presented any evidence outside of these fictitious people who
no
call
evidence,
this fictitious
no
God.
evidence that you like. No evidence that you like.
So
if we had another hour, Joe, if we had another hour, I will talk your ear off about evidences. The problem here is that you reject it.
Of course I would. I already found out where you're coming from.
Then you just proved my point.
Well,
you don't like the evidence that I'm giving you.
No.
Gentlemen,
2 seconds ago.
Let's put it this way. You are both welcome back at any time. Joe, you've been on the show before. Chad, you've been on the show before. Okay. Whether this discussion is going to go anywhere, who knows? I mean,
it's never going to go anywhere. It's already reached its pinnacle. And I'm satisfied where it went. But in any case, I like to call back and talk about any other topic.
Joe, anytime.
Anytime. Joe,
any Friday, 9 o'clock. That's when we're on. So, please.
All right. What's the topic for next week?
I don't know.
But it's probably going to be something to do with politics and what's going on. Cause
usually it's politics and the elections.
I like to still ask the same question I had asked about an hour ago. Do you guys...
about terrorism.
Yeah, about the terrorism. Do you think that we will have, let's say, in the remainder of this year and next year, we'll have 2 or 3 or more terrorist events claimed by ISIS or some other radical Islamic terrorist group.
Most likely.
On our shores?
Oh, that might be real.
Joe, on our
Sorry, I
shores?
couldn't hear anything.
Joe?
Huh?
On our shores, correct?
On our shores, yeah.
Okay, well, according to, as I said, Director Brennan and Comey, it's a distinct possibility, okay? And then they left it at that. But as I said before, 9/11 must have been like years in the planning. ISIS doesn't plan the way Al-Qaeda does and Osama bin Laden, okay? So, I mean, for them, they're very content to have lone wolf suicide bombers or single cell people who are radicalized here, okay, to do their bidding. Because they've so much as said, you know, we don't want you to come over here and fight. You can do this on your own shores. Just pick out a topic, a particular,
two things. One, the answer, you didn't answer his question. Yes, I think.
Yes, I did. I said it could.
They said will probably have. Yeah.
Yeah. It's become the new.
It's more or less, yeah. I mentioned the figure 2 or 3. The point I was getting to is that even if we have 2 or 3, I think that the propaganda will elevate the relatively speaking, the molehill into a mountain. Not that 2 or 3 terrorist attacks will be molehills. They will be dangerous. People will die if they occur. But the thing is, what I believe the government is trying to do is trying to make everybody afraid so that the government can control us even more.
Now,
I'm an anti-government type of fellow.
I know. And I don't know whether the government is trying to make us afraid or just trying to, or control us, just trying to tell us that, yes, this has become the new norm without saying it.
It will become the new norm. But the reason why, and I put myself in the hot seat, is if you take a look at the classified CIA documents, okay? I'm a conspiracy theorist by definition, but I like to have my theories founded upon confessions of the perpetrator.
Okay.
What I mean by that is if you knew that somebody confessed to a crime and they weren't bullied by rubber hoses by the cops, and if you could see that they were theoretically of sound mind and body, and they confess to a crime, you would put weight into that confession. I put weight into CIA declassified documents which have shown the intent of the government to control the people, what they've done by irradiating citizens without their consent, by forcing sterilization upon women without their consent or knowledge, by their other historical actions perpetrated against their own citizens over the course of not too long a period of time, that I say, you know what, take a look at that, you take a look at what the whistleblowers say, you take a look at the laws which are draconian in America today, which really, in my opinion, are unnecessary, and it seems to me that this particular government is really heading down the road towards what some people would say Sharia law or communism, but to put those two categories under one general umbrella, totalitarianism. People will say it can't happen here, but since we are such an open society, it can very easily happen here. So that's why I say the government is a corrupt institution.
Well, that sounds like something for another show.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it's a good place to end. So, Joe.
All right. Well, I'm glad.
Joe and Chad, listen. You guys have a wonderful 4th. Have a safe 4th, and we will. Oh, it looks like we lost Chad, I think.
No, yeah, we did lose Chad, which is unusual.
Well, I hope he's listening, but I hope you have a safe 4th. Enjoy yourself, and we can discuss this next week.
We're very open. Anything that you think is worth discussing.
Oh, we're always on every Friday.
We're on it.
Oh, okay. And I'm glad you have this kind of discussion as long as people aren't cursing each other. I thought Chad was a co-host of the show. But
no.
All right, he's just a caller. Okay.
Well, no, Chad is a good part of the show. I mean,
he calls in so much that
he's like a regular.
He's sort
of
he's sort of started occupying the second half of the show.
And we like to give him time, just like we like to give all of our callers time, and that's another reason why it's such an open show because if somebody's going to take the time to call in and they have a question, Felix and I are willing to sit back and let you just,
Yeah. I mean, he's like an honorary co-host, like I am on some shows.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And like I said, you've been on here before, so you know you're as much as a co-host as anybody else.
As long we have very few rules. Don't curse. Don't be abusive.
All right, Joe. Listen, you be well.
That's it.
Okay.
That's our rules.
You two guys too. Enjoy your 4th. All right.
And you as well. Bye-bye.
Okay, you have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are still with us, I hope you enjoyed the active discussion between Joe and Chad, along with a little Felix and Dr. Mark. And I wish you a very happy and safe 4th of July. I'll let Felix sign off now.
I also wish everybody a happy 4th and enjoy it. Don't do anything. I don't know. Forget about that. Just have a good time. And we'll see you next Friday, same time, same place, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you.
And have a good evening.
Bye-bye. Okay. So that's it. What a show. We're still on. What a show. I can't believe this. All right, let's go log off now.
You can't get rid of us, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I can't. That's because we're so inept. We don't know how to end the show. The button that says "end show" disappeared, which was a real problem. It just came back.
We may go on until next Friday.
All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again, and we'll see you next Friday. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Good night.